laws. So we have. I've testified at 3 legislative hearings since this poll came out. We make sure all our legislators received the Outdoor Digest, and we formed a political action committee, the Outdoors Club Committee for Sportsmen's Rights. Now, we're not involved with partisan politics, that Democrat, Republican stuff, but we are concerned and becoming more involved with the lawmaking process when it comes to sportsmen's interests. Well, that's the upshot of our opinion poll number 1. We've taken action on most all of these issues. Now, opinion poll number 2 appeared in our November-December digest. Some of the questions include, do you think scent products should be held to truth in advertising laws to substantiate their ingredients and advertising claims? Should the governor be free to appoint the director of the Department of Natural Resources? Do you favor legalizing crossbows? And we have a question about that crime prevention program of the 1970s, Operation Identification. Have you ever had any sporting equipment stolen? Did you get it back? Was it insured? Did you have your driver's license number inscribed on the items? Well, we have the preliminary results of that opinion poll number 2 in our January-February issue of the Outdoor Digest, and you might be surprised at some of the responses. But these answers do make a difference, and they do help mold the direction and activities of the Outdoors Club. We'll report on opinion poll number 2 responses in a few weeks. If you received the Outdoor Digest, I'm sure you can't help but notice the improvements. We're on slick paper now. The colors pop out. The pages are whiter. The magazine is heavier. Catherine Mulhaupt has made a lot of design improvements in this magazine. We think it's absolutely super. And the Outdoors Club is coming out with a very aggressive, comprehensive consumer protection program that will be announced in our March-April issue. Now, I am of the opinion, after our opinion poll, that it's time to eat.
Paula Slack sent us a recipe for Paula's panfish. And this recipe is quite low in cholesterol. It's got a lot of the cholesterol-free ingredients in it. And these are little perch. You could use bluegill or walleye or just about any type of fish in this recipe. And you do want to separate the egg and use just the white for this. And you could use one of the little egg separators, or you could do it the old-fashioned way. And we're going to use Italian dressing. Now, this also is the less oil. It's got just very little amount of oil in it. And you're going to make a batter out of the egg white and the oil. And we're going to use the cholesterol-free potato chips for a coating. You need to crush these, and you could use a rolling pin here, but it works just as well just to pound them a little bit because you don't want them real fine. You want them a little bit bigger pieces. And then we're going to add flour to the potato chips because the chips won't stick to the fish by itself. You're just going to make a coating out of the potato chips and flour. And then you're going to dip the pieces into the dressing and egg mixture first, and then into the flour and potato chips. Then all you do is fry them. And you do need to coat these very good. And then instead of using butter, you can use the lower in saturated fat margarines, and it does work just as well. You just fry one side and turn them over and fry the other. And I think these would be good on a sandwich or just cold as a finger food. Of course, you can't beat these while they're hot. And I think Bob Garner will agree that you really don't need a sauce to go on these.
We ought to call it a naked fish recipe because this is the first one we had in a while that we didn't have some sort of sauce for. I love it. Great combination of ingredients for... You know, frying batters are all supposedly the same, but this is really remarkably different.
And the fact that it's so low cholesterol, it really adds to it.
Well, that's healthy and all that sort of stuff. I'm talking taste. This is good. This is good. Here, let me get some more of this. Hold it. I'll take the salad with it.
You take the salad. You're going to make
a sandwich.
Big sandwich.
Hey, if we're talking cholesterol and stuff, I want my fiber while I'm at it.
Not only is this recipe delicious, it's easy to prepare like all our recipes in the January-February issue of the Outdoor Digest magazine. Folks, the digest is getting better and better. Just look at this beautiful cover photo. Features inside include transcripts of the Sex Scent series we ran in the fall. An article about Fred Trost's exciting Alaskan hunting adventure appears, as well as articles on archery basics, fishing lake trout, and an interview with the 1990 PBS art print artist Dave Conklin. News of the Outdoors Club activities and an Outdoor Foundation report, along with the usual week-by-week guide to the television shows, round out this issue, which you can receive by writing us here at P.O. Box 1000, Bath, Michigan, 48808.
Well, what does this weekend bring? Well, I feel kind of guilty for this, but the Shooting, Hunting, and Outdoor Trade Show, it's called the SHOT Show, the big trade show of the year for all the gun companies and ammunition manufacturers, is being held, unfortunately, out at Las Vegas, Nevada, and I have to go there. Kathy Beitler and I are going to be out there talking to a lot of companies and finding out what's new in the outdoors. So we're going to have to be out in Las Vegas. You folks, though, are going to be entertained by Bob Garner and Terry Place up at Houghton Lake if you go to Tip-Up Town. Believe me, no problem with Tip-Up Town this weekend. 18 inches of ice underneath the Tip-Up Town site. Things will be a go because a front is moving through, cooling things down, and it should be in fine shape. There's a lot of snow up there, by the way, especially around Cadillac. 2 feet of snow. A problem is the snow gets compacted and makes it tough for the deer, the turkeys to feed, so that's going to be hard on wildlife. In the south here, well, the launch ramp is open on the Tittabawassee River where people get near that Dow plant and they're catching a few walleye there. Slush on the lakes. This makes for hazardous ice conditions. You really have to watch it throughout the state. Watch for that thin ice in the Upper Peninsula. 14 inches of ice on Muskong Bay. The slush is freezing. Watch those springs in the areas where the ice is thinner. Even more than at the beginning of the season or the end, you have to worry about ice conditions right now. But whatever you do, get outdoors this weekend. It's a great place to be. I'll be in Las Vegas, but I'll see you right back here next week.
Major funding for this program was provided by STRO. By joining together as partners to preserve our natural treasures, together we ensure our right to enjoy them. STRO, partners in preserving America's outdoor heritage.
Michigan Outdoors is also underwritten by Auto Owners Insurance Company. Life, home, car, and business insurance available through your local independent auto owners agent listed in the yellow pages under insurance. Auto Owners, the no-problem people.
See, they're not dedicating themselves today.
Dedicated.
They're not dedicating.
Bob Garner will be heading back from Houghton Lake with a report on Tip-Up Town for next week's show. Kathy Beitler and I will be there for the second weekend of Tip-Up Town. Next week, we also start part 1 of our 5-part Alaskan series. That's going to be a series you won't want to miss, so join me next week right here on public television.
Let's put the specs.
56 and you. News and information about WTVS. Here's Darrell Wood.
WTVS takes you into the 90s with the best science and nature programming available. The Miracle Planet looks at the forces and events that have molded our world. TV journalist Bill Curtis hosts Monday nights at 8. And Smithsonian World returns with Zoo. Man and animal, it's a complex and fascinating relationship. Tune in for this compelling presentation Wednesday, January 24th at 8. WTVS is looking for a few good men and women to join our auction go-getter team. Volunteer efforts form the backbone of our annual auction. Right now, we need people to spread the good word of public TV to businesses and bring in the merchandise that will make our April auction a success. Call Auction Central at 876-8350 and get in on early auction action. For 56 and you, I'm Darrell Wood.
Here's a look at another brand new season of Austin City Limits.
Saturday night at 10 on WTVS.
I like to watch Channel 56 for Zoo, because sometimes it makes me laugh.
You're watching WTVS, Channel 56 in Detroit.
Hi, everybody. I'm Lanny Burton, and welcome to this week's Outdoorsman Show. This week's show, we're going up to Imlay City at the Marty Heim Memorial Big Buck Contest put on by Woods and Waters newspaper. And you're going to be able to see some of the beautiful bucks that have been taken in the 1989 firearm deer season, as well as the bow season and the muzzleloader season. This is the only contest that includes everybody, from the handgun winners all the way to the bow hunters. So you at home, stay tuned. You're going to find out what big bucks are really all about right after this. Welcome, everybody, to this week's Outdoorsman Update. We got a special section coming up for you, something a little bit different. All you people out there that are involved with the hunting and fishing, and you've got a VHS copy, send it into the Outdoorsman Show, because in some of our Outdoorsman Updates, we're going to put you on the Outdoorsman Show. All you have to do is send us a copy of your tape to the Outdoorsman Show, 3254 Avalon. That's Rochester Hills, Michigan, 48309. And if you'd like to have the tape returned to you, all you have to do is send a postage page envelope, and we'll return it to you. Also, some of the things that are coming up for the Outdoorsman Show that we're going to be involved in, we're going to be giving some seminars on deer hunting and fishing at the Pontiac Silverdome Boat and Sport Show coming up January 17th to the 21st. Make sure you get down there and visit us. Stop by the Outdoorsman Show booth. Who knows, we may put you on camera, and you can give us some of your comments on the Outdoorsman Show. Welcome back, everybody. We're talking with Tom Campbell and Glenn here from Michigan Big Game Hunters Association. Tom, I'd like to start off with you and explain a little bit about the Marty Heim Memorial Big Buck Contest that you have here at Woods and Waters.
Sure, Lanny. It started out as a local contest. Marty, who is a publisher here in town, owned the local paper, and he passed away suddenly with a heart attack. And he was just an avid outdoorsman, and he loved to fish and hunt. And so we picked up with the local paper and started a local contest in his name. And then the same corporation that owns the local paper came up with the Woods and Waters. And so with the Woods and Waters, we kind of went statewide with the contest. And it's just a way of honoring Marty, who is a heck of an outdoorsman, and it's been tremendously successful. It's grown from, I think we had 25 entrants the first year to over 120 this year. So
the crowd that we had show up here tonight. Now, I know a lot of the guys that are out there doing television shows have already had their big buck night. I thought it really pretty big of you guys from Woods and Waters putting on your big buck contest and fun night way after all the big bucks are collected. At the end of the season, it's tonight's is January, what time? 13th. There we go. I'll figure it out. January 13th, and most of the deer hunting season is over in Michigan. It's definitely over, and by you guys putting on a contest there, it gave everybody a chance to be involved in it. Matter of fact, Linda and I, both you guys all wrote about me and made fun of me in the paper there. I appreciate it. That's all right. I still got a nice 8-point as far as I'm concerned. Anyways, Linda did beat it. But anyways, Tom, I thought that was pretty big of you guys to make sure that everybody was included. And I think because you did that, look at the attendance it had. You're definitely going to have to go to a bigger room next year.
Definitely, yeah. We had a tremendous turnout. We did move the contest this year to include the entire season. We just felt we were missing out. You know, you got 2 seasons of muzzleloader in December, and then you got the whole bow season. Even though we didn't have a lot of bow entrants, we had some nice bucks, but the muzzleloader was taken the last day of the season, and it scored 157. It may be one of the top muzzleloader bucks taken all year, and yeah, it's true. A lot of people missed out on that buck, and it wasn't fair. So it's a little more work. You got to work through your holidays. You lose your Christmas and New Year's, but yeah, I think it's worth it, and it's fair to the outdoorsman.
And I think Marty would appreciate it, getting everybody a fair shot to come in here. We're not talking about an astronomical amount of prize money and everything else. It's a lot of good fun, a lot of good home stories, and we're going to talk to a few of the people here shortly. Glenn, I'd like to talk to you from the Michigan Big Game Hunters Association. Glenn, you're the president there. As far as the standpoint goes, how's the deer harvest looking this year as far as the big racks that are coming in?
Well, they're shooting a lot of big deer in this state now. A lot of people don't believe that Michigan produces big deer, but looking around here tonight, boy, I'd be proud to shoot any one of these deer they brought in here tonight.
Oh, you betcha. And I tell you what, how's your organization coming in? What's coming up here in 1990 and the new decade, as they say?
Well, our organization is growing very fast. We'll get a lot of very important people in this organization. We formed a coalition to fight anti-hunters in this state, and we're having some problems now out here. As you can see or have read, that in Milford, they're trying to shut down hunting in Milford. And they are trying to shut it down in Howell, in Brighton, and I believe they've already done it in St. Clair Shores. So people have to get involved. They're going to have to get politically involved. The hunters been known to be very apathetic, and they're going to have to change their views. They're going to have to go out and register to vote, and they're going to have to go out and vote and support the people that support them. As far as I'm concerned, Mr. Blanchard has not done the things for the sportsmen in the state that goes for hunters, outdoors, fishermen, and what have you. Now, we formed a coalition to fight these anti-hunters. Right now, we had a meeting for about an hour and a half with John Engler. And John Engler, we had a talk with him, so we would support Mr. Engler if, 1, he made Tom Washington lieutenant governor of the state, both in fishing and hunting. And also, if we, the sportsmen, had some say-so on who would be appointed to the NRC commission. Right now, there are people on that commission who are not qualified to be on the commission.
And it's good information for you people at home. Don't sit by the fireside and expect Glenn and Tom and everybody to pull the load and work for you. Get a hold of your congressman and your representative and let them know what your opinion is. They're elected to represent you, so if you don't contact them, you don't give your opinion, they're not going to know, and they're going to vote their own views. But if there's a voice out there, you should be it. You're at home doing the outdoors. So, guys, I appreciate it.
Lanny, one more thing I'd like to say. It is very important for the sportsmen to go out there and write these letters and to make these telephone calls. You cannot believe how important it is. A congressman, a senator, the mayor, the governor, it doesn't make any difference who it is. It's very important that they get involved. We cannot sit there and lay back because we're having problems right now.
And these local meetings here now, each one of these hunter closures has a posted, by law, they're supposed to put them in the local newspapers, and when they have these DNR meetings as far as hunter closures, this is your chance to get out there and to participate in these meetings and voice your opinion. If you'd like to continue hunting in the particular area that you're in, and if it's not that populated, and there are safe hunting practices, some areas that may not be able to hunt firearm anymore, you can still hunt with bow. So get a hold of these people, attend these meetings, and voice your opinion. Guys, I appreciate it. We're going to take a break here, and we'll be right back with more of the Mighty Heim Big Buck Contest Memorial.
There he goes. Yeah, I like this spot. Nice zoom in, perfect. Yeah. Get kind of a little broader look at it. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's good. Well camouflaged, well camouflaged. Those pine trees do a fine job for that. A 15-yarder?
Yeah, nice shot. 15 yards is nice. And pitch the deer right here. Right here, Dave.
Yeah, that's. I'll tell you. I hope that buck's still around. Oh, you got me. Nice close-up of a little rub. Now it's a little out of focus here. Kind of get the idea here what it's all about. There's a little buck, but again, he's leaving his mark. Definitely a nice rub right here. Kind of low to the ground, as we can see. Probably only about 2 to 3 feet off the ground. But he really went around the tree pretty good. You can see all the little pine bristles that he's rubbed off.
Welcome back, everybody. We figured in this segment of our show and the next one here, we talked to some of the people that were successful here and participated in the Marty Heim Memorial Big Buck Contest that Woods and Waters put on here. And our first gentleman here, I'm going to let him introduce himself. And where are you from, sir?
I'm from Armada, Michigan, sir. My name is Gary Parker.
Gary, tell us a little bit about this deer that you collected this year.
Well, it was the second day of season. It was blowing pretty hard winds. Timber was a-rocking, rocks on the ground, the roots were all together, and it's been still hunting about 5.5 to 6 hours, sir, and slipped around a rock cliff and kind of looked over, and I seen an eye looking at me, and I don't know how I seen it standing, and a bunch of cedars leaned up against the rock cliff, and took about a 4-inch opening into him, and just fortunate enough to get a shot into him. I hit him in the neck, and he flipped over. We spent 3 days going into the swamp to get him out. We had 9 flat tires on a 3-wheeler and 1 on a 4x4 truck, and I think we cut enough toothpicks for the whole state of Michigan down in there, but we finally got him out on the 3rd day. This was kind of later in the season, though, after everybody was done hunting.
Where did you get him at?
I got him in Delta County, sir. If I was to give the whereabouts the exact spot, I won't be allowed to be back there anymore, sir.
Well, that's great. Tom's been trying to pry and buy and everything else, all these spots for people who've been good. We know you're not going to give away your prime hunting spot, and after collecting a buck of this nature here, I don't believe I would either. What did this one score out? Do you remember?
It's 145, sir.
145, and an excellent trophy. And I tell you what, gang, If I'd have got one that big, I'd have been standing here, but I didn't either. So, hey, thanks a lot, and we appreciate you telling your story. Come on back, and we appreciate it. Who's our next one here? Now, this guy here, I know he said he got in Oakland County, but I know we've seen this guy's truck after Linda measured her deer one day. We're going to tell us where he got it, but what's your name and where are you from, and tell us about this deer.
My name's Ron Nickel, and I'm from Washington, and I shot the deer in Oakland County. It was on the 22nd of November, and I was hunting with my father, and we were sitting. It was a very sunny morning. About 8:30, I decided to get up because I was freezing. And
well, it's cold out there, wasn't it?
It was freezing cold. Anyways, we were planning to walk around 8:30. We were going to start moving some deer, and I got up and I immediately jumped another buck. It was a nice 8-point, and I seen him standing on a ridge across this ravine. And the sun was shining in his eyes, so I figured I had a pretty good chance to get up to him. And I was crawling on my hands and knees for about 50 yards, trying to get a spot to shoot through the tops of the trees that were in the bottom of the ravine. And I thought I found that spot, and this deer, I got him in my scope, and he turns around and looks, and this one started charging him.
So they were ready to do battle over some territory.
There's a lot of bucks in the area, a lot of bucks. Anyways, I got him in my crosshairs and shot twice. Second shot, I got him, dropped him.
How did you get the gun steady enough after seeing him in the beginning to shoot the thing?
It happened so fast. Luckily for me, it happened that fast that I didn't have time to get nervous.
Well, because if I'd have seen the rack at first, man, I think I'd have been in serious trouble.
I knew as soon as I saw the deer from behind that he was a lot bigger than the one I was stalking, so I immediately switched deer.
That's a super, super tail town. I tell you what, you keep having this contest, these deer keep getting bigger. I tell you, you're definitely going to have a bigger room just for the participants next year.
Yes.
Thanks a lot, guy. I appreciate it. Well, for coming out and doing your story with us, and we'll be following your van next year.
Thank you very much.
Tell you where you're at. Hey, who's this next fella we got coming out here? Got another fella coming over here where he got his deer at. Now, Tom, tell us a little bit about this. Now, this is a non-typical?
No, this isn't a score typical. This is a UP buck. Dan Haywald from Allington got.
Okay. This is a super buck from the UP, eh?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit, Dan, about this deer.
Well, been hunting the same seat there for probably the last 6-7 years. And this is the second one we put in the record books off that seat.
Mm-hmm.
And last year, the biggest one up to this one is 11-point I got off of it. And my dad missed, probably a 12, 14, just big rack. Hard to tell. And
what day did you get this deer?
I got this on the opener. We had about 5 inches of snow. And the visibility was really cut down. Every little twig, had snow stacked up on it. And it was about 10 o'clock, and, I tried the grunt call, but I can't say that the grunt really got him in. I wasn't seeing anything. It's the only deer I seen opening day was this one. Mm-hmm. And I give him a grunt around, probably 9:30, quarter to 10, and nothing happened. So then I waited till about 10:30, I give him another grunt, and about 20 minutes after that second grunt, he just come out from behind me, from behind some pines. And I should have backtracked him, to check, just to see if he was bedded down or if he changed directions, if that call brought him in, but I don't know.
I tell you what, Linda called in a nice batch of deer this year. Her 10-point that she took that we aired last week on the show, she brought in 3 bucks off her grunt call within about 7 minutes. So I'd have a little more confidence in it than you do in a grunt call, because they were.
Sure, though, I wish I would have backtracked him just to see where he come from. I'm not sure if that's what turned him or brought him in, or if he was just looking for a doe, He was definitely on the move, though. I mean, he come in, he had his head down, and he was just, on the move, looking for something, You
can tell he's still pretty geeked up about this, and I don't blame you, buddy. I tell you what, if I had that big, I'd be geeked up for the next year or two. I tell you what, we're going to take a break here, Dan, and Tom, we're going to come back, and we're going to talk to some more of the participants in the Marty Heim Memorial Big Buck Contest right after the...
Just a little you? Oh, that's good. A nice shot of going to Dave's blind here. And we have to overcome some obstacles as we're walking. And one of them is those pesky beavers. Well, as you can see what they did, as beavers usually do, made a nice little dam. And a beauty it is. every now and then we run across them, and they let us know that we're in the wrong territory. But as we're coming up, we can see here that this stuff is pretty doggone nasty. It's gotten to a point now where it's almost getting hard to cross.
Falling off this log, slipping into that deep, quickly running stream, but what we hunters don't go through to get a deer. Well, here goes nothing. Victory!
That's the tree line there that I got my 4-point. Hey, Ron?
Yeah, it was a nice one.
It was under this tree.
Right here?
Yeah. Right there.
Welcome back, everybody. We're talking with some of the winners of the Marty Hine Memorial Big Buck Contest here that Woods and Waters has sponsored. And Tom, tell us a little bit about what are some of the things that are coming up here for Woods and Waters. I know we got some more people here. We got Tim here. He's the first place in the firearms division, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And we're going to talk to Tim here, but I want to talk to you a little bit, Tom, about what's coming up for Woods and Waters newspaper and how can they get a hold of you?
Well, Lanny, right now we're entering the, obviously there's a lot of winter shows, and we'll try to be attending as many of those as possible, so people feel free to stop by and talk to us at our booth. We are right now in a tremendous growth spurt. We're growing like crazy. There's still a few areas of the state we'd like to cover yet with our paper, but we are definitely a Michigan paper for the outdoorsman in Michigan, and we like to write about Michigan stuff. And if anybody's interested in subscribing or any other information, they can reach us at area code 313-724-0254.
That's super. And I'll tell you what, I recommend that you get a copy of the newspaper because of the fact there's not too many to cover the local information that's going on in the outdoors from all seasons, not just fishing, but fishing, hunting, trapping, camping, you name it. They do it. And I appreciate it as far as just as a reader for myself. By the way, I had to say that because he sends me a paper once a month. He sends it to Linda. He doesn't send it to me. So anyway, Tim, tell us a little bit about your deer. Now, you finished first place in the firearms division this year.
Yes. Okay, I got the 8-point on Friday, November 17th. Okay, and next morning, a buddy of mine, we switched seats there.
Yeah, now there's a whole big story. I done read part of the story. I'm going to pull it out of him. He ain't gonna. Now tell us about how it started out now from the get-go, Jim.
Well,